Okay, guys, so we got some exciting news just a few days ago from the folks over at Bloody Disgusting. I believe it was the folks over at Halloween Movies on Twitter, X, the Halloween Portal people that shared this. Guys, Nick Castle is returning as the Shape in the Halloween video game. And this one comes to us by way of John Squires there over at Bloody Disgusting. This is really exciting because, when I was doing my previous videos covering the initial news of the announcement of the game and everything, there were rumors that Kane Hodder had played the Shape. And so, while covering that news, I was like, well, this is what I've heard. We're assuming that that's the truth because he had talked about in a recent interview about doing motion capture for a gun video game. So that must be something else. Maybe he worked on this. I don't know, but we do know for sure that Nick Castle is involved. So let's go ahead and take a look at this story here. We've got a really nice shot there. Like, I don't know, man. This video game isn't even coming out probably for another year. I would imagine like mid to late August 2026. This looks really good. Like, that looks almost like a shot from a movie straight up right there. Love the lighting on the mask. To me, they've got the look of the mask just down. Yeah, just stunning stuff. And the article here says, the big horror news of the week, last week, was that Halloween the Game, an official video game based on John Carpenter's original horror classic, is headed our way next year from IllFonic, and it will feature online multiplayer, offline bots, and a single-player story mode, which is huge, guys. The news gets even more exciting as we head into the weekend, as the team announced that original Shape actor Nick Castle performed the motion capture for the game's Michael Myers. So yeah, it sounds like he performed all of it. So if Kane is involved, I would imagine it's in some other capacity. The article continues, the official Halloween Portal account tweets, quote, although it may be slightly different than the one he wore on film in 1978, Nick Castle put back on a suit to deliver the iconic walk, movements, and kills as only the OG Michael Myers could. Quote, in what is just one of the many ways Compass and IllFonic are striving to bring the utmost authenticity to this game, we wouldn't dream of having anyone other than Nick bring this character to life in this new digital realm, and we are thrilled he was eager to participate. This is massive, guys. Not only is this a great way for these actors that we know and love and, aren't, let's just say it, they aren't of the age to really participate fully in these films anymore. Just a few minutes ago, before we started covering the news, we were talking about how awesome it would be for there to be a Nightmare on Elm Street video game and bring Robert back to play Freddy, because physical features and all and aging and, you just put on a motion capture suit and you can have the Freddy that we know and love. Maybe if they did that, you could even pick the different Freddys from the different video games because they all have a slightly different look. So here, bringing in Nick Castle to play Michael Myers, especially because the game takes place in 78, is massive. Even if there's another performer that you think is a better Michael Myers or someone you prefer, I totally get it. To me, Nick Castle is my favorite, and James Jude Courtney's right there behind him. So if Nick weren't able to, I would want to see James doing the motion capture, because to me, he just captures that. I don't know. There's just something about the way Nick plays Michael. It is just, it's almost like he did it without even really putting too much thought in it, and then it became this very fine-tuned thing that no one could ever replicate. Isn't that the weirdest thing? That really it's just walking, it's these slight movements, but there is something so particular about the way Nick Castle played the Shape that I'm so excited. I love Kane Hodder, don't get me wrong, but we would, I think we would look at the game a little bit differently if Michael didn't perform or move the way we wanted him to. And hopefully Nick has brought that chill energy that he brought in the original film, and that we just get that natural, creepy Michael Myers performance from him. So there is a behind the scenes shot that we're going to show off here in a second. Just to finish out the article here, guys, we did cover the trailer and we covered the whole entire website. So I'm not going to go through every article on Bloody Disgusting that covers the game, because a lot of that was covered in our live stream. I even snipped out the section. It's about a 20-minute video where we go through the whole website. We read everything. We show off all the pictures. So if you haven't seen that yet, jump on over, give that one a watch. I'll go ahead and drop a card here so you can click on that if you missed it. But just to finish out this article here, it says, Halloween the game will invite players to step into the chilling world of John Carpenter's genre-defining film, now transformed into a suspenseful one versus many stealth horror experience. Put on the iconic mask to become the ultimate slasher, Michael Myers, stalking and executing the citizens of Haddonfield one by one, or striving to thwart Michael Myers' plans as civilians determined to save the unaware townsfolk before it's too late. And the game will unleash on Xbox Series X/S, PlayStation 5, and PC via Steam and the Epic Games Store in 2026. And here is that beautiful shot of Nick Castle. Look at him. He's like finding his zone there. He's meditating. Really, really cool to see him, or to find out that he is the one behind all of this. So yeah, guys, there is the news about Nick Castle performing the Shape in the Halloween video game. And one other thing that I want to cover while we are talking about the Halloween game here. This one reads, Halloween the game exclusive interview. Everything you need to know about the upcoming game. This one is from Harrison Abbott over at Bloody Disgusting. And guys, this is a huge article, really big interview. I recommend you check it out on your own time. I'm not going to read the entire thing, but I skimmed through it earlier and I found some points that I wanted to just bring up to you guys, because there's some little tidbits and some nuggets in here that are not on the official game website. So I'm just going to kind of scroll through. Really great shot there of Michael. For everyone that's watching after the fact on the clipped out video, you're going to be able to see these full screen. So I'll just let the live audience kind of take a look there. The game night he came home. So really cool shot there of the Myers house with the Strode Realty sign in front of it. It says Mathewson took over for this breakdown, elaborating, quote, we've tried to emphasize stealth on both sides of the killer/survivor dynamic. For Michael, it's about stalking. His mechanics revolve around quietly observing in the shadows and biding your time to get the best possible kills. You see, there will be NPCs inhabiting the map, living their lives and going about their various October 31st traditions. Your job is to pick them off. Meanwhile, the other players will be sneaking around and trying to alert those civilians to your presence, just like in the teaser trailer we showed. Plus, we've got the cops and Dr. Loomis adding an extra wrinkle to the proceedings. So if the Michael player isn't performing well, he'll have to deal with extra resistance, and there are a lot of interesting situations that can arise from that. And expanding upon that point, Garrettson said, quote, most other asymmetrical horror games are about escaping, but that's not the ultimate objective for the survivor players here. Instead, you're trying to stop Michael's rampage and save the town. You can eventually end the match and spectate, but the goal is always more complicated than merely run around, loot, and escape. We think that makes it feel new and interesting. Not only will there be an offline substitute for multiplayer matches, giving you the opportunity to practice with AI bots, but there will also be a bona fide story campaign. Developed in collaboration with Pollard Studio, this mode will thrust you into the coveralls of the Shape and have you facing off against the townspeople of Haddonfield, the police, and of course, that pesky busybody, Dr. Loomis. IllFonic were cagey about revealing too much more at this juncture, but Mathewson is confident that the campaign will be a treat for fans of the film series. Quote, it's such a fun mode. You'll get to have a very controlled Halloween experience that will hopefully drive even more people towards the multiplayer. We can't wait to show it off in the near future. Finally, we had to ask about that enticing Hollywood name drop in the trailer. IllFonic tends to consult the original creators of any material they're adapting. In the past, they've secured the input of the Chiodo brothers for Killer Clowns and enlisted Tom Savini to help devise the grisly kill animations for Friday the 13th. Still, this is John freaking Carpenter we're talking about, a legendary master of his craft and a gaming enthusiast to boot. Surely it must have been a little intimidating trying to earn his blessing. And then Garrettson replies, actually, the cool thing was we didn't have to explain a bunch of concepts to him. Because he is a gamer, he knows this stuff already and has specifically mentioned what he wants to see from us in terms of ideas. So far, that working relationship has been amazing. The same goes for our interactions with Malik Akkad, who is, of course, you guys know, the son of the original Halloween producer Mustafa Akkad, associate producer of many of the franchise's later installments and current IP rights holders. And then Mathewson jumps in, echoing those sentiments and saying, quote, "This is one of those opportunities that comes along once in a lifetime. The stars truly aligned to give us this level of access to the franchise's lineage, and it helped us assemble an experience that is very true to that iconic 1978 film." So boom, that just sort of puts a bow on it for me. Everything that I sort of assumed about what was going on in this game with the input of John and Malik working together on this, I think that we're going to get a game way better than the Friday the 13th or TCM game, and a game that's got way more support, and a game that's going to live on for a really long time. And not only that, guys, we're going to see a new generation of Michael Myers and Halloween fans come into the fold, because some people, you know, they're young enough to maybe they don't have parents that show them this, or uncles or siblings. And so it's just going to bring more eyes on Michael and Halloween. And that's great for all of us Halloween fans. So that wraps up this round of Halloween video game news. Guys, if you're watching live, let me know what you think in the chat. If you're watching after the fact, jump on into the comments. Give me your thoughts there. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and share the channel with someone who you think would dig this kind of content. We cover horror news all the time on the channel. Movies, TVs, comic books, video games. Basically, if I'm interested in it, or if people in the community are interested, we're going to cover it here. So make sure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a thing.